In the heart of a dying logging town, where the trees whispered secrets and shadows danced with the wind, I found myself drawn to the forest's edge. Locals spoke in hushed tones, their eyes darting nervously as they mentioned a guardian, an ancient spirit known as Bigfoot. But did this creature truly exist, or was it merely folklore? As a journalist, I had come to investigate a string of mysterious disappearances. Each case seemed to lead back to these woods, where the air grew thick with unease. I could feel the weight of the forest pressing down on me, ancient and knowing. It was as if the trees themselves were watching. The townsfolk warned me. "Stay out of the forest after dark," they said, "or you might awaken the guardian." Old Mrs. Jenkins, her hands trembling, spoke of a creature with fur as dark as night and eyes that glowed like embers. It was said to protect the forest with a fierce vengeance against those who harmed it. Curiosity gnawed at me. I had to see for myself. One evening, armed with only my camera and a flashlight, I ventured into the woods. The sunlight faded quickly, replaced by a suffocating darkness that wrapped around me like a shroud. I could feel the pulse of the forest, alive and watchful. Suddenly, a rustle in the underbrush sent a chill down my spine. My heart raced as I turned the beam of my flashlight towards the sound. For a brief moment, I caught a glimpse of something massive, an enormous figure, towering and covered in shadowy fur. It moved with a grace that belied its size. As I backed away slowly, the air shifted. A deep, guttural growl resonated through the trees, echoing in my chest. It wasn't just a creature of the forest. It was a guardian, fiercely protective of its realm. I realized then that the disappearances weren't just random. They were warnings, a consequence of greed. I turned to flee, adrenaline pumping, but the forest had changed. Shadows twisted and morphed, and the path I had taken vanished. Panic set in as I stumbled forward, branches clawing at my skin, the growl now a chant reverberating through the trees. I was not alone. Out of nowhere, the ground shook as the guardian appeared before me, its eyes ablaze with ancient wisdom and wrath. I felt its power radiate, a force of nature defending its home. In that moment, I understood I was a trespasser in sacred ground, and the forest demanded retribution. I fell to my knees, pleading for forgiveness, and as if sensing my sincerity, the creature's growl softened. It stepped back, allowing me to escape. I ran, not looking back, the weight of its gaze burning into my soul. I emerged from the woods, forever changed. Back in town, I relayed my experience to the locals. Their faces were grave, knowing what I had encountered. They whispered of the guardian, not as a monster, but as a protector, a force that would stop at nothing to defend its home from those who sought to destroy it. And I was one of the lucky ones.